Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. You're very welcome along. This is the third episode of series 55 in which we are talking about courage, and I'm tempting you away from your desk at lunchtime, perhaps after your lunchtime meal, to take a 10-minute walk in nature to reconnect with what's going on in the world outside the office, and to benefit from the mental and physical health boons available to those who walk. Very excited to be bringing you this discussion on courage. It's really nice to consider one topic a month because it means that I read everything with the topic in mind. And I was just reading something about courage through times which you could see as being extremely difficult and horrible, and how to remain courageous in such circumstances. Welcome to Walk the Pod. And what I was reading was very much on the basis of The Courage to be Disliked, which is, of course, the title of the book that we are reading together this month by Fumitaka Koga and Ishiro Kishimi, two Japanese philosophers who discuss courage and what it means to be a human in the world over 5 nights of discussion. It's an excellent book. I highly recommend it to you. And The Courage to be Disliked particularly is a very interesting sort of central thesis to the book. And I remember actually looking up a while ago whether it was a good idea to have nemesis, because I sort of had an inkling that it was a good idea to have nemesis, and I wanted some evidence to back this up with rather than it just being a vague feeling I had. And I found a book by, actually I can't remember who it's by, but it was about the artist Whistler, and it was called something like The Gentle Art of Making Enemies or something like that. And I bought it with huge enthusiasm and found that it was actually not really about that at all. The Courage to be Disliked, on the other hand, our book of the series, very much is about the courage to have other people tell you that you are wrong and doing it wrong, and that you should be ashamed of yourself, because as my inkling suggested when I came up with it initially, it's not possible to be all things to all people. We are raised, particularly women are raised, to get on with everybody, and I have been praised by people in the past for being somebody who gets on with everybody. But actually, if you are getting on with everybody, then you are also having to change your values for the person you're standing in front of. If you are a person of solid values, which are yours and not theirs, then you can meet people. You can find that you get on with some of them and that you are disliked or dislike others. But at least your own values then have enormous integrity. If you're somebody who gets on with everybody that you talk to, you either don't have very strong values or you have to avoid quite a lot of people who don't share the values that you do have. And so The Courage to be Disliked essentially sort of says this can be a very freeing attitude, because if what you're saying is my values are my own and I hold them very strongly and I will not be moved unless somebody presents me with a really good reason why I should move them, then you can meet people who have very different values from you. You can hold on to the values that you do have. You can refuse to move them just because of the person talking to you, and you can agree with them to disagree. And they may dislike you for that, and that is okay. And whether they dislike you vehemently or a little is an indication of what they're like as a person more than it is what you're like as a person, because we are all very different, and it should be an accepted sort of thing that we will meet over the course of a day people who we don't get on with very well, who have very different ideas from us, and so we should. Our job as humans, as Heather Havrilitsky writes in a recent newsletter, is not to create a sort of controlled and ideal, pure version of the life that we want to see. Our job is to experience everything life has to throw at us, and that includes an enormous number of people, some of whom are very different from us and some of whom disagree with us. It includes an enormous pantheon of experience, some of which is joyful and some of which is full of sorrow and some of which is terrifying, and that is what we are here for. Now, we can shutter ourselves away with our controlled and idealised version of our life, and we can refuse to engage with anything outside of that. But what a narrow life that might be. So, courage, dear friends, today, to experience everything and hold on to our values nevertheless, which will require us to be disliked, and that is no bad thing. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, I'm in the park behind the hospital, as I so often am these days, and it's actually rather colder than it has been over the last week, which is rather disappointing. I walked to work this morning thinking, it's gone cold again, damn it. And the phrase that Sam says to me sometimes sprung to my mind, shed not a clout till May is out, meaning do not put your winter wardrobe away until the hawthorn has finished flowering, I think. Corrections at the end, please, Sam. And so I was very much reminded of that this morning, because I have put some of my winter wardrobe away like a fool, and yet the temperature's still bouncing up and down wildly. What else can I see directly in front of me? Well, there's lots of pigeons in the park. There are a few tots in the play space. There are doggos. The cross dog lady is here with one of her dogs. She doesn't seem very cross today, so that's good. Often she's yelling at the dogs, but in a sort of dog trainer way, not a furious. She's not a cross lady herself. She's very authoritative with the dogs. So there's some of them up on the hillock over there. Lots of birds calling from around the place. And quite a bit of fluffy blackish cloud overhead, which indicates there may be a storm later, or maybe at least rainfall. Very heavy clouds they are. I wouldn't say there's loads of clouds as if it's going to be a thunderstorm, but just clouds heavy with rain. So I feel grateful for having this peaceful moment walking around in relatively fair weather at lunchtime. And it's Wednesday, so we missed Gratitude Tuesday. I'll have to do Gratitude Wednesday instead, dear friends. So today I feel grateful for this chance to walk in this fair weather before the rain. I feel grateful for my work, which is stable-ish. And I feel grateful for my new home that I moved into at the end of last year. With Sam and the kids and the cats, and it is wonderful, and I feel very happy to be settled again. Thank you for walking with me, dear friends. It has been an absolute delight to stretch my legs with you this lunchtime. If you are enjoying Walk the Pod and you would like to get more involved in this preventative health project, which would be ramping it up rather a lot to be on the podcast, but it is a preventative health project. It is, would you like to do something every day for your health? Take a 10-minute walk. If you'd like to get more involved in this project, please go to walkthepod.com and explore all the things there, which at the moment are based on inviting you to leave a voice note for me, inviting you to join the Walking Club, which is a global community of walkers all around the world, contributing substantially to the show, keeping me in shoelaces and the odd pint at the end of the series, and also various ways to get in touch. Take care of your beautiful mind, yourselves, and each other, and I'll be back with episode 4 tomorrow.